tonight would surely boost that point total. It's going to be Ross versus Glover to tip things off here for these two teams. Ball is up. Glover gets a hand to it first, and we are underway here between Umsel and Illinois Springfield. Along the perimeter now, Glover was looking to hand that one off to Enright. Now we'll patiently await for Harris to come around and collect the basketball. Enright now, he'll fire immediately. Three-point shot off to the right, rebound picked up by Kunnert. And they quickly get the ball into the hands of Britt Dutton. Enright is going to start out on him. A lot of players right now in fine form. None better than Jack Weber here going up against Glover. This is going to be a great matchup within the game here tonight. Weber wins the first battle between the two with a nice-looking hook shot there to pick up the first 2 points of this game. Jack Weber, a senior out of El Paso, Illinois, averaging 12 points per game in his senior season with the Prairie Stars. Glover now. Thought about answering, but he's cut off by Weber on the drive. Enright now. Maybe likes the matchup here against Dutton. Gets a screen from Prosper. Now trying to go all the way. Altman, the only one in his way, but he goes right through him for 2 points there. Matt Enright, the junior from St. Louis, Missouri, leading the team with nearly 15 points per game coming into tonight. He's a great sharpshooter, but also can beat plenty of opponents off the dribble. Speaking of scoring, this is Kunnert now. He'll pass back out. Ross now, the three-point shot. That one a little bit too strong. Rebound collected that time by Weichel. Weichel now. You see Glover and Prosper both trying to post up inside, but this is Harris. Gets this one into Glover. Glover wants everybody to clear out. Going to take on Weber one-on-one. Goes with the similar type of hook shot, that time off the backboard, but Weber does well to crowd him out. Altman now fires immediately. Three-point shot. It's good. Evan Altman, the senior from Indianapolis, Indiana, is on quite the heater. Had 30 points last game versus Drury. Earlier this season had a career high of 31 points. He went 7 for 14 from three-point range in that game versus Grand Valley State. So he has really turned things up as of late, especially from downtown. Enright now stops on a dime, rises up for the mid-range shot, and what a pretty shot it is. Matt Enright, he's hit plenty of those over the course of his career. Speaking of 30-point games, he had a career high of 30 versus Lewis, where he went 6 for 8 from downtown. A lot of great scoring options in this contest here tonight between these two teams. Altman now has Prosper on him. Weber, not known for three-point shooting, looking to hit Kunnert now. He rises up, mid-range shot, nothing but net. How many times have we seen that already in this game between these two teams? Kunnert now gets his name in the scoring column early on. It was a defensive slugfest, to say the least, between the women's programs of these two schools. Maybe we'll get the complete opposite here. Mid-range shot, that one almost nearly nothing but net. That time it's Janier Harris, the fifth-year senior from Burnsville, Minnesota. Illinois Springfield 3 for 4 to start this game. Umsel 3 for 5. Weber now with the left hand. Makes it look so easy at times, Jack Weber. We got an up and down offensive shootout here to start things in this contest. Enright gets a couple screens. Now open for three. Left it short. Glover, though, gets the offensive rebound. Now has Kunnert on him, trying to finish over him. Too strong that time. Rises up, third time's the charm for Glover. So even when Umsel misses, they get the ball, continue on, and eventually get those points. Kunnert now, three-point shot, it's good. And Illinois Springfield not going away here early on. Kunnert adds to his early bucket with a three-pointer, now up to 5 points. Prosper now trying to drive past Altman, who comes down across the basketball and knocks it out of bounds last. It will be Umsel basketball. We've hit our first media timeout. What a hot shooting start between these two teams, but right now it's the Prairie Stars with a narrow 4-point advantage. We're going to take a short break and we'll be right back on the other side. Don't go away.
Balance. It isn't just essential in your sport. It's essential in life, especially college life. It's everything you need to thrive in school in sport, and everything in between. The key is just finding a place where you can pursue it all, because the real beauty lies in the balance. If you want to win in every arena of college life, go D2. Make it yours.
Welcome back, folks, here on the GOFC Sports Network. It's been raining all day in St. Louis, but it compares nothing to the shots that Illinois Springfield are raining down upon UMSL here to start this game, as the Prairie Stars have come out firing 5 for 6 from the field, 2 for 3 from downtown. The likes of Kunnert, Altman, and Weber, the usual suspects for Illinois Springfield, getting the job done to get them out to this early 4-point lead. UMSL not too far off from joining them as far as this hot shooting start is concerned. Weichel, the mid-range shot, that time too strong, and it's going to be Weber who collects that loose rebound for Illinois Springfield. Weber will come out and collect this ball along the perimeter, gets it quickly into the hands of Kunnert as those two exchange positions. Weber now, 1v1 versus Glover. Another kind of outstretched floater shot there, but that time left it short. And here comes UMSL now. Enright feeling it, the three-point shot. That time also short, rebound collected by Ross. See, Enright trying to take advantage of whenever Illinois Springfield go underneath the screen, but he's only been able to knock down the one shot. Dutton now, same situation. He fires. Nothing but net there from Britt Dutton, who averages 2.5 points per game. He gets all of that and more on one shot, does the sophomore from Ellenwood, Kansas. And that's going to be a travel there on Glover. And right now, UMSL can't afford to cede possessions to this offensive juggernaut that is Illinois Springfield right now. Substitutions early on here for the Tritons. It'll be number 1, Quentin Parker. And also out there on the floor, number 23 in Isaiah Purvey, a pair of freshmen. Purvey locally from St. Louis, Missouri, and Parker from Florissant, Missouri, not too much farther away. Parker had a career-high 19 points, went 5 for 10 from 3 last game versus Maryville. So Coach Sundveld hoping that he can catch fire once again here early on to try to keep pace with what the Prairie Stars are doing. Here goes Weber once again. The spin move inside, and it's a beautiful finish there just off the front of the rim and in. Brand new matchup for him going up against Purvey, and he took advantage of the freshman there. So right now, Illinois Springfield are getting it done inside. They're getting it done outside. Prosper now trying to pick up some points back. Faces a double team. Parker left open the three-point shot. In and out that time. And a rebound again by Ross. Altman now off the roll. This is Ross. Good recovery by Prosper. Done now. Gets it to Altman on the far side. Better defense here from the Tritons. Now Altman trying to force the issue. Bundles into two bodies. I don't know who's going to get credited with the charge in that instance for the Tritons, but it will be Altman who gets hit with the offensive foul and the turnover. And that'll be his first foul. And now Illinois Springfield are going to answer with subs of their own. Number 1, Jordan Williams will check in for the first time tonight. So too, number 23, Ty Banks. And joining them out there on the floor, number 32, Isaiah Esker. Kunnert will stay out there along with Altman. So still a couple of the top scorers on this Prairie Star team remain on the floor. And right now, back outside. Weichel now. Starting to back down Kunnert. Esker, though, in the area trying to help. Weichel now. Tough mid-range shot. Skims off the back iron. Rebound eventually collected that time by Kunnert. Now this is Banks. Altman and Kunnert. Kunnert now, another three-point shot. And it's another make for Kunnert. He's now 2 for 2 from downtown. He's 3 for 3 on the night so far to lead all scorers with 8 points. Elmsville have already seen this level of scoring from Kunnert once this season. They don't want to do it again. Prosper now in the lane, able to get that hook shot over the 6'10" Esker. And he will Prosper, averaging 11.3 points per game this season. Banks now. Local product out of Springfield, Illinois. Gets this one to Esker. Kunnert now. Shot clock is down to 10. Williams right now with the ball, might try to get this one to Altman. He does. And before Altman could get into his shooting motion, he stepped out of bounds, and it'll be a turnover forced by Elmsville. Glover's going to check back in along with Harris, as Weichel and Purvey will make way. Trent's going to switch things up just a little bit. Prosper will be the one to initiate the offense. And right now, couldn't shake Williams. Prosper back out to Enright. Shot clock approaching 10. Couple spins there by Enright, almost traveled with it. Now it's down to 7. Prosper goes into the lane. Tough shot there, and he does enough to draw the contact. The late whistle there will go against Altman for the foul. We've hit our under 12 media timeout. Illinois Springfield have not yet cooled off. Elmsville trying to keep pace with them, but they're down by 10. We'll be right back after this short break. Welcome back, folks, on the GLVC Sports Network. Illinois Springfield are 8 for 10 from the field, as well as 4 for 5 from downtown. Identical 80% shooting margins as they lead by 10 here early on. 11:44 left to go versus Elmsville. Max Kunnert leading the way. He hasn't missed yet, folks. 8 points, 3 for 3 shooting, 2 for 2 from downtown, along with 2 rebounds. He comes into tonight 4th in program history with 1,037 points. His 204 threes, second all-time. And now that he's made a couple here tonight, he is 14 points behind Vince Walker, for the program lead as far as career three-pointers are concerned. Needed 16 coming into tonight, and obviously that's a lot of three-pointers, but the way he's shooting, I wouldn't put it past him, as it's Prosper right now at the line. Prosper able to knock down that first free throw, a near 73% shooter from the line, averaging also 4 rebounds per game this season, leads the team with 57 assists coming into tonight. And he had a career high of 25 points earlier this season. He went 9 for 11 from the free throw line in that game, as he goes 2 for 2 here. And that was a few games ago versus Missouri S&T. Also had 21 points and 10 rebounds at Upper Iowa in a win that earned him GLVC Player of the Week honors. So it's a single-digit deficit, but still, Elmsville, I'm sure during the timeout, discussing how they're trying to slow down this Prairie Star offense. Kunnert spinning around again. Poetry in motion. Looks like it's chaos, but it actually isn't. Kunnert now up to 10 points already. And he has not missed in his 4 attempts so far. Prosper trying to even things up there with his attempt, but Illinois Springfield crowd him out of the paint, and the rebound collected by Ross. And right now giving the likes of Altman and Weber a valuable rest on the bench, as Williams right now has the ball. I have to start wondering if Elmsville going to start sending extra help towards Kunnert. Shot clock's down to 10. Is he going to miss here? Another spin around in the lane. Another shot. No, he's not. 5 for 5, Max Kunnert. He's done this a lot in his career, but it still does not make it any less amazing the start that he's gotten off to in this game. out of Pewaukee, Wisconsin. Esker now is the one in post defense as Glover absolutely harassed by 3 different Illinois Springfield players, and he goes to ground and is going to get bailed out there by the officials, as it was Banks who came over the back onto him and fell on him, and he will get hit with the foul. Coach Brock not happy about the 50-50 call going against his ball club, as Weichel back in now for Parker. So the shot clock will reset to 20, and right now the floor getting mopped up after that latest tumble by several different players. And Umsel coming to this one tonight, second to last in the GLVC, averaging 68.7 points per game, but second in the conference, allowing 68.7 points per game. Right now, unfortunately, that defensive mark not really holding up at the moment. Weichel now gets open, mid-range shot over Esker, nothing but net that time for Savon Weichel, averaging nearly 11 points per game coming into tonight. And he's been one of the top sharpshooters on the team this season. He's had 10 games of 2 or more threes. Lofted pass inside. Glover does well to get a fingertip to it. And now Umsel come away with the ball off the turnover. On the trail, this is Harris. Stops on the dime, trying to squeeze that one through to Glover, who was the open man, but did not have enough real estate to work with, as it's deflected last off of Illinois Springfield and out for Umsel ball. Here comes 3 of those starters in Dutton, Weber, and Altman, as they will take the place of Esker, Williams, and Banks. It's not a deep bench for Coach Brock and Illinois Springfield, but they make it work. Weichel now on the drive. Got loose there for a brief moment and took advantage. He puts that one up off the glass and in. So right now it's Weichel who's had the best looks over the last few minutes. He's got 4 to go along with Prosper and Enright. And they're going to hit Weichel now for holding on to Kunnert off of that screen. That will be Weichel's first foul, as Dutton will take this one out for the Prairie Stars. Again, it's going to be tough for the Prairie Stars to have to deal with what Kunnert start, and they also have to deal with Weber, who's 3 for 4 from the field. Squeezed that one inside to Ross, but he had it ripped away from him at the last second. I believe that was Harris who last touched it for Umsel. And 12 seconds still on the shot clock for Illinois Springfield. Weber 3 for 4 from the field. Kunnert, of course, the 5 for 5. And only Ross is 0 for 1. As this shot, a wayward one, that time from Kunnert. So finally, Umsel are able to stop him. But at the other end, Altman gets his hand and rips away the basketball. Ross now. Altman in stride. 3-point shot. Rolls off the front of the rim. Rebound there by Enright. Maybe after a couple of misses, Umsel can start to get themselves going here. Still only down by single digits and 8 points. And right now, rises up, tough mid-range shot, but he makes it look easy that time as Dutton was in his face. Good defense, but better offense wins that time around. And that is often the case when it's Enright the one who's shooting the basketball. Dutton trying to shake him here, but has to kick it back outside to Altman. Ross now. Dutton left open, 3-point shot. That one off the mark. Rebound there by Glover. Averaging a team high 6.2 rebounds per game coming into tonight. Prosper once again with the ball in his hands. Takes on Altman, gets all the way in the lane. Beautiful finish as he was going away from the basket. The precision needed on that attempt off the glass. It's in the top 1 percentile, and that time Prosper was up to the challenge of reaching it. Glover nearly gambling there. Weber now gets to his favorite spot on a low block. Beautiful spin, and an even better finish going away. Weber now up to 8 points. Seems like every game he puts on a clinic in post play. And right now, again, Illinois Springfield going to the screen. Enright, though, can't make them pay as he's off to the left. And he's now 0 for 5, I believe, from 3-point range. Dutton now. Ball's rotated to the top for Ross. Here goes Kunnert. Almost got Weichel in the air. Now trying to blow past him. And one for Kunnert. Right now, Umsel just don't have any answer for Max Kunnert. He beat them from the perimeter to start. Now he gets inside, and he'll have a chance for a three-point play on the other side of this media timeout. 8-point lead still for Illinois Springfield. We'll be right back after this short break.
Reaching the greatest heights requires more. Be empowered. Be equipped. Be ready for more than you thought possible at the University of Missouri St. Louis.
NCAA athletes don't just compete, they make history. Representing our nation with pride and excellence, they bring home the hardware. Our college campuses serve as training grounds for the next generation of stars. Catch tomorrow's Olympians and Paralympians on the NCAA Championship stage today.
Welcome back, folks, on the GOVC Sports Network. It's an 8-point lead for Illinois Springfield over Umsel with 7:15 left to go in the first half. Chuck Smith Court has turned into Fury Road as Mad Max Kunnert right now leading the way for the Prairie Stars, up to already 14 points in this game. 6 for 7 from the field, 2 for 2 from downtown. He will step to the free throw line for the first time tonight to try to complete a 3-point play. As far as the shooting is concerned on the Umsel side of things, 45% as a team is not too shabby, but the problem right now is that Matt Enright 0 for 4 from downtown. The team is 0 for 5 from three-point range. And when you pair that versus the 4 for 7 mark for the Prairie Stars, you get the lead of which the visitors have at this current time. Kunnert leading the team with 16.2 points per game coming into tonight. If he makes this, he's 1 point shy of it already. And there he is, nothing but net, as has been the case often here tonight. And those 28 points versus Umsel, where he went 11 for 18 from the field in the first meeting, is a season high. He has scored in double figures in all but one game this season, multiple threes in all but 5. And both of those marks will continue here after tonight as he's already hit them. Parker back in for the Tritons. And right now, gets back out to Parker, who going to be guilty of a travel, and eventually it's actually going to be a double dribble there on the part of Parker, and was left in no man's man once he had committed to leaving his feet. Didn't like the look, and at that point in time, couldn't back out, and it'll be a turnover. Dutton now. You can see the Prairie Stars trying to utilize Kunnert as a screener, as the substitution of Esker back in the game along with Banks is out there. No Williams this time around. As shot clock is approaching 10. Kunnert, I don't think he's come out of the game just yet. Floats this one over to Dutton in the corner. Shot clock's down to 5. Banks has to rise up and fire. Left it short, and rebound collected that time by Harris. So great job by Umsel to keep the ball out of Kunnert's hand and force a bad shot. And right now, struggling from the outside, so he goes in, and he picks up another 2 points. He's now 4 for 8 from the field, so if you take away the perimeter shooting, he is a perfect 4 for 4 inside. And that's a mark of a smart player. Knows something's not working, so tries to go to a different part of his game. Right now, everything's working, though, for Max Kunnert. Another 2 points there to give him a game high of 17 so far in this first half. Off the fake handoff here, Harris gets all the way inside. Beautiful shot fake there. He had Ross on the flyby. And then the finish was elementary at that point. Still just a 7-point lead for Illinois Springfield. It feels like a lot more considering the offensive burst to start this game, but Umsel right there in the thick of it still. Dutton now. Might be a size mismatch. Unreich does well to switch off of Esker. Glover, though, having to switch over late. Might lose out, but great job by Parker. He comes away with the ball all the way to the cup, and he gets the 2 points. Great play recognition by Parker, and he sprints ahead with the basketball to pick up what is his first points of the game. And it's just a 5-point lead now. Kunnert now. Again, he'll rise up. 3-point shot. That time too strong. Glover didn't get a clean 2 hands on the rebound, but Enright able to help him out. Glover now has Esker on him. A lot of beef between those two guys. Esker does well that time to put off the shot, and Banks comes away with the rebound. And Glover may have come up a little bit worse for wear in that instance, kind of grimacing a little bit here as he plays defense. Actually lets Banks take the shot there. Was expecting some help, it never came. So Banks picks up his first basket of the night. Just over 4 minutes left to go. We'll have one more media timeout upcoming here. Umsel haven't really been able to chip away too much at this lead. Parker trying to change that as he shoots. That one soft off the back iron. And rebound collected there by Ross, who's up to 4 already in this game. Dutton now. Trying to get around Enright. Has to pass back out to Ross. Esker trying to set up shot down low, but Ross trying to beat Weichel. One spin move. Great recovery that time by Weichel. He gets a piece of it. Shot clock hasn't reset. It's at 3. The floater that time by Banks is off. Esker gets the putback. No. In and out that time for the big man. Almost was a near disaster there for Umsel. They were so close to forcing maybe a shot clock violation, but Illinois Springfield get 2 great looks at the basket, but they can't convert either. Shot clock quickly down to 10 here. Weichel now gets some separation on Ross. His hook shot takes 2 bounces and drops. It's a shooter's roll if I've ever seen one. As Weichel gets another basket. He's got 6 points to join Prosper here, just behind Enright, who's got 8. Kunnert now goes for the drive this time, and he's fouled behind at the last moment, and he will head back to the free throw line and see if they're going to get Weichel with this foul, and it looks like they will. So for Weichel, that's going to be his second foul, so something to keep an eye on as we've got 2:41 left to go, folks. Our final media timeout. Illinois Springfield have Kunnert at the line shooting 2, up by 5. We'll be right back after this short break.
There's a place just south of where the rivers collide, where the unknown makes us thrive. Map makers, peacemakers, generations of explorers. They navigated, they risked, they rose, embracing a spirit of discovery, of land and sea and space, and yes, more. That is who we are. We are more than the gateway to the West. We are the gateway to the future, to your future. Find more at the University of Missouri St. Louis.
In a partnership with Blue Frame Technology, you can now watch your favorite Great Lakes Valley Conference sports on the new GLVC Sports Network Apple TV app. Easily tune in to live broadcasts or search through thousands of archived broadcasts. Have an older Apple TV? You can still watch on your TV by going to AirPlay on your iOS device and choosing Apple TV. Begin watching your broadcast now on the new GLVCSN app, available in the app.
33-28 is your score late on here in the first half. The visitors, Illinois Springfield, are up on Umsel, with Max Kunnert headed back to the line. Comes in tonight 7th in the GLVC in points per game, 8th in field goal percentage, 9th in three-point percentage, and tied for 7th in threes per game. He's got all of that cooking for him right now to the tune of 17 points at this point. Has a chance to make it 19 with this pair of free throws here. For those wondering, his career high was in his first year a few seasons ago with Illinois Springfield. That was 33 in a game on February the 11th versus Quincy at Quincy. So seems to have a habit of putting up big numbers on the road as he is headed back to the line here. Knocks down the first free throw. An 84% shooter from the line coming into tonight. Also averages 4.8 rebounds per game. Last year averaged only 12 points per game. Was a near 48% shooter, though, from downtown, as he knocks down both free throws there. Last year his season high was 25 points when he went 5 for 9 from 3 versus William Jewell. But right now, it certainly feels as though a career high is not completely out of the question. He's only 15 points away from it. Prosper now. Back outside. Parker passes up the corner three. Takes the contested mid-range shot, but knocks it down. Smooth move that time from Parker, who again has gotten a lot more time in recent games, has scored in double figures in 2 of the last 3 games. After a month in between games played. And again, remember, had that career high of 19 points with those 5 threes versus Maryville. Jack Weber. Kunnert right now has got stealing the headlines, but if not for him, Weber would be the one toting the bag right now for the Prairie Stars, as he is now up to 10 points in this one, 5 for 6 shooting. Prosper, great drive and finish, and one. Able to force the issue there, as it is Dutton, I do believe, who got hit with a foul. No, excuse me, it looks as though it will go against Altman. Excuse me, I think that was against Dutton, and it will be his first foul. As Prosper is back at the line. Ties Enright with 8 points so far in this contest. Went 2 for 2 from the charity stripe in his first trip. Senior out of Miami, Florida. Last year averaged nearly the same amount, 11.1 points per game. Was second on the team with 66 assists and 30 steals. Coming in tonight, team leader in assists with 57, and also has 15 steals. Last year he had a season high of 21 points versus Illinois Springfield. So Tritons are hoping that he can start getting up to that total in a hurry here. With Weber back in, Prairie Stars trying to establish him once again. Right now, there's going to be a foul there, a late dig, that time by Parker. Actually, they're going to get Purvey with the body, as he was the one who drew the assignment against Weber. And he will be guilty of the foul, and it'll be his first. Purvey stands in at 6'4", but having to guard the 6'7" Weber, and I'm sure giving up some size difference as well. It's a tall task for a freshman. Weber again trying to take advantage of the matchup. Spins one way, able to shovel that one off baseline. Banks goes up, and he will head to the line, as it looks as though, can't tell if that was Parker who got called for the foul there. Looks as though it was. It will be his first, and they're going to call it on the floor instead of on the attempt going up by Banks. So still Prairie Star basketball underneath the basket. Weber once again, a 1v matchup for the moment versus Purvey. Spinning around, the lefty shot way off course, my goodness. That is a bad looking shot for anybody, but especially for Weber, just mistimed the angle there. And then the ensuing pass partially deflected by Dutton, but Enright able to collect. Now here's Enright. Back outside, beautiful find. Prosper now puts the ball on the deck, able to get Weber in the air, scoop past him, missed the first, followed up on the play. Unable to get it to go, but nice scrap down low, as I believe that was Purvey making a menace of himself. And he forces that one out off of Illinois Springfield. Will be UMSL basketball, 7 on the shot clock, 46.6 left to go here in the first half. We'll keep it here for you folks, but we'll preview things here. As again, coming up on halftime, we will take a bit of a break as far as things are concerned. At least I will step away. On the return, we'll take a look at halftime statistics. We will look at some of the other games going on in the GLVC tonight. Big time night, because again, folks, after Saturday's slate, it will be the release of the first points ranking system for the conference, the system that is determinant of the teams 1 through 8 in the GLVC tournament. So we'll get those first figures of the season after Saturday's game. So, of course, here tonight, big time contest. UMSL looking to hold serve at home court. Illinois Springfield would be a big boost to them to pick up a win on the road versus a team near the top of the standings. So a lot to play for from that standpoint alone. Obviously, UMSL trying to get above 500 at home. Illinois Springfield trying to build upon the momentum. Again, they had a big win versus Drury last time out, but got to say, obviously there's no moral victories, but really took it to Missouri S&T, led late in that game multiple different times, just like everybody else in the conference this year, unable to solve the mystery that is the Miners. Prosper now down low. We're going to get a jump ball there. I think it was Dutton at the last second who got most of it. And the arrow, of course, now pointing the direction of the Prairie Stars. Dutton had a high of 8 points in 28 minutes versus Rockhurst earlier this year and has seen a lot more time as of late. You can see why with effort plays such as that. As Ross and Altman back in to join the other 3 starters for Illinois Springfield. Their shooting statistics have not slowed down in the slightest, shooting nearly 58% from the field. Kunnert now, backdoor cut. Weber tried to really slide it home for him, but was off target, too low in that point there. It'll be a turnover for Illinois Springfield. As Esker and Banks are going to check back in. Shot clock is going to stay on, but right now it's 30 on the shot clock and it's 30.6 on the game clock, so not really much of a difference at all. So most likely this will be the final offensive possession of the half. And Humsel desperately want to convert here to get this to a one-possession game going into the break. And Wright will take some more time off the clock before looks as though Prosper is going to help him out here with the screen. Here he comes. And Illinois Springfield with plenty of fouls to give. Commit one there. 8.8 on the game clock. Of course, the shot clock will be turned off now by this point. We'll see if they want to foul again. Prosper gets it. Now Harris drives on Ross. Rises up. Tough mid-range shot. Gets it to go. Janier Harris. Beautiful looking shot there. Averages 6.7 points per game. That's an important 2 points there to close things out for the half as Umsel have seen Illinois Springfield. Bob Sunvold has been a huge godsend to this Umsel basketball program and trying to help spur his team to a second half comeback here as we're back underway between the Tritons and the Prairie Stars. Weichel now back out there with the starters. And then right now has in possession. Here's Weichel. He's going to drive on Dutton. Back outside. Great pass. Prosper open in the corner for 3. Left it short. Rebound again by Ross, who has a game high for the Prairie Stars, 5 rebounds. Weber now. Backdoor cut there by Kunnert. He rises up. Doesn't get the shooter's roll, ironically enough, on that shot. Weber comes into tonight, despite being a center, with a team-high 57 assists. Glover now kicks it outside. 3-point shot for Umsel. Also short rebound there by Kunnert. So despite the offensive spree by both teams in the first half, we've seen our fair share of misses here to start the second. Ross now. A lot of motion in this Illinois Springfield offense, but Umsel right now with them step for step. Shot clock's down to 6. Altman now. I lost track of himself. Shot clock's down to 3. Back outside. Altman at the buzzer. Nothing but net there. Prairie Stars don't panic. Weber senses Altman had a little bit more space to work with. And the senior from Indianapolis, Indiana, puts in another 3 points. Prosper now. Back outside. Enright looking for his first three-pointer. There it is. Big-time answer there by Enright. Umsel needed it, and he was able to provide it to get it back to within 2 points. Dutton now. Weber running the show for the moment for the Prairie Stars as he gets bumped, and that will go against Glover, and that's going to be his second. So the big man will have to be careful to not get his third in quick succession here at the beginning of the second half. Right now is up to a game high amongst all competitors in 7 rebounds, but he's 1 for 5 from the field. Exerting a lot of energy on this end of the floor trying to guard Weber. Kicks it back outside. Ross lines up the three-pointer. That one also short. And that's the 8th rebound now for Glover. And he had 16 and 17 points versus Quincy and Maryville. Those were season highs in respective order. Harris, the three-pointer. Nothing but net there from Janier Harris, as he's now up to 9 points here in this contest, and that's now 2 threes in a row for the Tritons, having not been able to score one in the first half. And they're back out in front. Glover now gets the steal, and that is a Foul on a breakaway by Weber from behind. Certainly not overtly malicious, but as far as the situation is at hand, could extra punishment be on the way here? Again, Glover was ahead of the pack. They're going to get a trip foul against Weber. For right now, it's just a common foul. A little bit surprised that there's not been any more determined. I guess, again, watching too much NBA basketball. But for right now, it's just going to be a foul against Weber. That is his first. But great read by Prosper. And if not for the contact, Shirley was going to be in and on his way to what could have been a thunderous dunk that really would have brought the house down. Again, good crowd on hand here inside the Mark Twain building. Band here in attendance tonight. Plenty of students in the seats, as well too as the athletes who were all honored at halftime of the women's game. The all academic teams being announced for each one of the programs here for UMSL. So a lot of those athletes have stuck around to support the men's basketball team. And it looks as though it's going to be Prosper who will take things out of bounds eventually. And right now, discussion about the shot clock, I think, is this pause. Nothing, again, attributed to that foul call. And right now it looks as though they've got 28 on the shot clock to go along with 17:15 on the game clock as Prosper will get us back underway here. Prosper now off the screen from Glover, takes it right at Altman, who came down across his arms. And here come the free throws that UMSL were hoping for at some point, as it's Prosper who once again will head to the line, as he is 3 for 3 so far tonight from the charity stripe. And for Altman, that is an important third foul. And remember, it's a thin bench for Illinois Springfield. So Altman, who's hit a couple of big threes here tonight, he's got 6 points. You have to be careful here with those 3 fouls for the moment because no one's coming in for him. Prosper misses his first free throw of the evening. Trying to reverse course here and pick up the second one. And he's able to do so. So UMSL maintaining a one-possession lead here, 42-40. Dutton now. Kunnert hasn't registered a point here in the second half. And it's Dutton now off the screen. Weber has it back outside. Shot clock's down to 10. Kunnert now comes to get it. Trying to squeeze this one inside. He does to Weber. Puts up a shot at the last moment, and Glover's going to get hit with his third foul. As Weber just flicking the shot up rather quickly, kind of caught Glover off guard, who was a little bit too close to him, and now he's got 3 fouls. So important players for both teams now up to 3. Glover for UMSL and Altman for Illinois Springfield. It looks as though Glover is going to make way here after Weber takes this free throw. Able to knock that one down. Esker is going to sub in for Altman, so both players with 3 fouls will head to the bench. Again, mentioned Jack Weber and the career that he's had. Illinois Springfield's all-time career scorer across NAIA and Division II history with 1,564 points coming in tonight. First in field goals made at 707 and field goal percentage at nearly 58%. Also first in career rebounds. He was able to achieve that here this year, up to 626 coming in tonight. Third all-time with 323 assists. Second with 87 blocks. And honestly, you could put this one up there as maybe one of the most impressive marks. First in games played and games started. Tonight, it's his 127th game played and his 123rd career start. As that time there, it was Purvey who misses on the mid-range jumper. Sometimes the best ability is availability, and Weber certainly has been a big part of that here for the Prairie Stars. As he sets the screen, now off the roll. Spins on Purvey. Again, another one of those floated shots, but left that one a little bit too much to the right as his momentum was carrying him towards the baseline. And here come the Tritons. Enright now, left open, 3-point shot, in and out. Another good look that doesn't go for Matt Enright as Kunnert comes away with the rebound. The Prairie Stars have lived dangerously tonight as far as Enright off of screens, but he's been unable to make them truly pay. And we're going to get a moving screen, or an illegal screen of sorts now going the other way, as it's Esker who's the guilty party. Wasn't able to set his feet, and it'll be a turnover on the part of Illinois Springfield. We've hit our first immediate timeout, 15:40 left to go, 42-all between UMSL and Illinois Springfield. We're going to take a short break, and we'll be right back on the other side.
We're there to serve, make sure we're creating a fair atmosphere for both teams, upholding the integrity of the game.
I chose to be an official. It's the best decision I've made.
In life, things aren't scripted. Games aren't pre-scripted. You know, I got into officiating because my father was an official. Officiating was part of our family life. It wasn't just the game.
Get to be outside, get to experience the game. It's so much more fun. You can get a lot out of it.
If you're an athlete, we need people like you and translate those skills to officiating.
It helped me become not only a better official, but a better person.
It happens in every town, in every game.
We never have a perfect game, but the rewards always outweigh the negativities.
And it's just been wonderful.
We're all tied up at 42 between UMSL and Illinois Springfield after the first media timeout of the second half. So far here in this second half, the shots not quite falling as they did in the first for either team. UMSL 2 for 6, Illinois Springfield 1 for 4. Illinois Springfield have been guilty of 2 turnovers. UMSL not so much here in this second half. And right now they're the ones who are going to try to benefit off of the offensive foul from Esker. And it was his first foul for Illinois Springfield. And right through a sea of bodies comes and collects. Now Prosper with a head of steam. Blows past Esker, and he's able to finish. His momentum almost carried him out of the way as far as that shot is concerned and put him off, but still was able to contort his body for the finish as he had the first step advantage there on Esker. Esker and Weber in the game together. Interesting look here for the Prairie Stars. Kunnert also still in as he kicks this one back out for Banks. Weber now with the shot clock at 10. He's going to go to work. Again, has Purvey on him. Shot clock down to 5. Another spin. Another little hook shot there. Esker fighting for the board. Gets it. Can't complete what could have been a possible three-point play there, but he's headed to the line. Esker, a 42.5% shooter from the line, so we'll look to pick up what he can here. Averaging 5.9 points per game, 3.3 rebounds per game. Bit of a homecoming for Esker. Senior out of St. Louis, Missouri. As he misses the first free throw there, went to Parkway South High School. I hear that high school produces pretty good teachers, as does UMSL themselves. Great education and academic program here for teachers in St. Louis, as Esker is able to knock down the second free throw. Last year averaged almost identical numbers, 5.6 points per game and 3 rebounds per game. He had a season high of 13 points against UMSL. But he hasn't had to be leaned upon for scoring here as of yet, with the likes of Kunnert and Weber still very much controlling things. Great pick and roll inside Purvey. That's a heavy contact foul there. As Esker is to his feet, Purvey stays down for the moment. It looks as though he will be okay. It will actually go against Weber, and that'll be his second, so something to keep an eye on going forward, as that will put Isaiah Purvey at the line. Also from St. Louis, one of 3 Webster Groves High School alums on this UMSL team. Of course, that Webster Groves High School team, state champions a couple of seasons ago, the likes of Purvey and Matt Enright on the same team, so too Ethan Chartrand. All 3 staying locally in St. Louis, but again, part of a special Webster Groves High School team that won the state championship just a couple seasons ago, as Purvey knocks down that first free throw. Quentin Parker went to Cardinal Ritter, was a 2-time Class 6 champion and first-team All-State last year as a senior. So a lot of pedigree as far as the St. Louis high schools are concerned on this UMSL team. And a lot of youth there. Of course, Enright, a junior. We'll still have one more season next year, of course, to wrap up what has already been a pretty fine career for UMSL. As Purvey misses the free throw there. 2-point game, as has been the case over the course of this second half. Jordan Williams back into the game. He quickly gets the ball to Kunnert, who still hasn't scored yet here in the second half. Umsel have done a much better job of making sure he doesn't even get the ball. But here he is now. Weichel trying to stick with them. Kunnert switches to his left hand, gets this one to Esker. Short range shot, and the big man floats that one up and in for 2 more points. And the tandem of Esker and Weber over the years has worked wonders for the Prairie Stars. Not much of a drop-off when Weber needs a breather. Parker now, cut off on the drive by Kunnert. Prosper with a shot clock at 10. Weichel now left open, 3-point shot, off the front of the rim and bounces out. Rebound collected that time by Altman, who's back in the game playing with 3 fouls. Kunnert now tried to snake through a couple of different screens. Illinois Springfield couldn't get him the ball. Banks now backs it out. 10 on the shot clock. Here is Banks trying to drive on Parker, but he runs into Purvey there. Lost the handle. Shot clock at 1. Had to fling it up there. Actually did hit the rim, but Umsel come away with the rebound through Enright. Prosper now ahead of the pack. Has Kunnert in front of him, and he's going to get hit with the blocking foul. Kunnert realized too late what the situation was, and Prosper able to take advantage. And Kunnert, all that he could do was commit the foul. It'll be his first. That is 5 now against Illinois Springfield. 3 have gone against Umsel here in the second half, so 2 fouls away are Umsel from getting into the bonus. Off the inbounds play, it's Weichel. Now tries to drive baseline, cut off by his opposite, number 20 in Altman. Bit of a smaller lineup here for the Tritons. Prosper drives on Esker. He's crowded out, and then the rebound is collected by Banks, but they're going to get a jump ball. Good effort there late by Purvey. Kind of span away. Hopefully he's okay there. Late after the jump ball will be Prairie Star basketball. And it looks as though Umsel are going to deploy a little full court man pressure here. Try to change up the look. Prosper stays in as the team's, I believe, tallest player, standing at 6'5". And there he is, able to leap up highest in the air, gets the steal, gets it to Parker, all the way to the rack for 2. An immediate payoff there from the full court pressure for Coach Sundvold and his team. Great job by Prosper as he swallowed that attempted pass. Obviously, Illinois Springfield thought they had it, a 2-0 advantage behind Prosper, but he was able to utilize his wingspan in there to make sure that ball never reached Kunnert. Here he comes now. Weichel with him step for step. Step back 3-point shot. It's short. Rebound up for grabs. Parker collects it. And Kunnert still hasn't scored here in the second half. And the Tritons are starting to impose their will just a little bit on the defensive end. They're hoping the offense can catch up. Prosper now switches on to the 6'10" Esker. Dumps this one off. Purvey, tough shot. Late contest there by Esker. Might have put it off in the end. Altman now to Banks. Again, the offense seems just a little bit clunky without Weber at the moment. Kunnert now thought about the step back shot. Weichel, though, once again closes him down quickly. And now Esker trying to bully his way into the lane. Player goes down, and we're going to get a blocking foul. And if that's the case, the protest from the Illinois Springfield bench might be warranted. The foul's going to go against Purvey. I believe it will be his second foul. We've hit a media timeout. We'll try to sort things out on the other side. Right now, the scoreboard reads 47-45 in favor of Umsel. We're going to take a real quick break here. We'll be right back. You're watching Umsel basketball on the GLVC Sports Network.
Reaching the greatest heights requires more. To unlock our greatest potential, we all need more. More hunger to learn. More knowledge to grow. More experiences to awaken our world. More space to explore the potential in us and those around us. When you believe there is more, you can reach greater heights. Be empowered. Be equipped. Be ready for more than you thought possible at the University of Missouri St. Louis.
It's been a fun one so far to this point, folks. UMSL up 47-45, 11:24 left to go in the second half over Illinois Springfield, who are going to be headed to the line in some capacity. Or it looks as though, again, the call on the floor is what the foul was. It's going to be the second against Purvey, so that's why the free throws, or one free throw won't be given for that made basket. But still, Esker forcing the issue as he heads back out on the floor along with Dutton, Banks, Altman, and Kunnert. Enright out there on the floor along with Prosper, Weichel, Parker, and Troy Glover back into the game. Again, remember, playing with 3 fouls, so too Altman. So no basket on that last play, but still Illinois Springfield basketball. Altman now, after a couple screens, the three-point shot off to the left. Rebound by Parker, but that was a good look there for Altman. I mentioned his prolific scoring over the last few weeks for Illinois Springfield. And right now, gets this one to Glover. And a partial double team on the low block. Prosper now rises up for the hook shot, can't get it to go. Glover flies it for the offensive rebound. Enright off the shot fake, blows by one. Another gets hit on the low block, and eventually Illinois Springfield come away with it. A lot of contact there, but no call. Altman in the corner, Glover flies by and might have forced the step out of bounds there by Altman. That's the second time that he has lost track of his feet there along the sideline. That's a break there for UMSL. And all of that scoring for Altman has moved them up to 12 points per game, 54.4% shooting, 45.7% shooting from 3. But didn't have an opportunity there. And right now, left open, three-point shot. Yes, sir! Matt Enright knocks it down. His second three-pointer of the evening. He's shooting 6 for 12 from the field overall, and he's up to a team-high 14 points. As UMSL now out to a 5-point lead. Dutton now can't get around Prosper. Bounce pass inside. It was a great find, but Altman sees it skip off of his thigh and out. This is the largest lead of the game for UMSL. Illinois Springfield were up by 12 points at one point, but here are the Tritons now with just over 10 minutes left to go in this second half. Again, Enright saw a streak of 9 straight games of double-digit scoring end last game versus Maryville, but has gotten back into double figures here tonight. Glover forcing the issue inside as Weber came back in. Him and Esker, not a lot of room to operate when those two are crowding you out, but Glover finds a way to force the foul. It will go against Esker. That's his second. Glover from Wheaton, Illinois, a 55% shooter from the line. This has always been the part of his game that's plagued him just a little bit, but knocks down the first free throw there. Of course, remember a couple years ago was a transfer from Trinity Christian College, was named the conference that Trinity Christian College played in Defensive Player of the Year after he averaged 12.1 points per game and 10.3 rebounds per game. But he recorded 103 blocks, which was third in all of NAIA. And he has since come in and been a big part of the backline defense. Came in tonight with 87 career blocks, which is second most in UMSL program history behind Rodney Hawthorne, who had an incredible 128 over the course of his career. So those were some important free throws there by Glover to knock down both to put UMSL up by 7. Weber now is going to force a foul against Prosper. At the last second, Weber was about to make his move, but Prosper guilty of getting his hands on him prior to it, and that'll be Prosper's first foul. Illinois Springfield have 6 fouls against them, 5 against UMSL now. It comes down to free throws. It'll be important to analyze the shooting marks for both teams in that regard. Kunnert, deep three-pointer, finally gets one to go. Max Kunnert hadn't scored prior to that shot here in the second half. Finally knocks down a three-pointer. He's now 3 for 5 from three-point range, and he's up to a game-high 22 points. 6 away from tying his season high. Parker trying to answer. Off to the left. Kunnert tips the rebound to himself. Tritons can ill afford to see Kunnert get going. Nice defense there by Parker. Comes away with the steal. He's got options. Weichel now. Cut off on the drive. Enright the trail. Nice shot fake. Off the blow-by. The floater in the lane gets it to go. Beautiful basketball play there by Enright. Off the fake. Gets a much more high percentage shot in the lane. Banks now. And that should be a blocking foul, and it is against Parker. Tried to slide in at the last moment. But he'll pick up the personal. Both teams now at 6 fouls. And for Parker, that'll be his second foul. Back and forth we go between these two teams. But Ums will have certainly upped their game here in the second half. Kunnert now. Not allowed to breathe there in the corner. Weichel with them step for step. Tries to step in with the scoop layup. Prosper is there to deny him. And the shot clock is at 14. It'll still be Illinois Springfield basketball. Strong response here in the second half defensively for Umsel. They're holding Illinois Springfield to 27.3% shooting, 3 for 11 from the field. I know Matt Enright does a lot for this Umsel team. He even picks up the mop there to wipe up the sweat before we can get back underway. What a guy. Esker now. 1v1 opportunity. He's going to take it right at Prosper. Tries to go over him with the left hook shot. Beautiful finesse finish there from the big man. I'm sure their teammates, Weber and Esker, just get absolutely sick of seeing those shots go in during practice. But those two have them down to a T. Prosper gets it back into the hands of Enright. Trying to shake Dutton, can't really do it. Shot clock's down to 8. Gets some help off the screen from Prosper. Enright now squeezes this one inside. Prosper, no room to shoot though. Trying to pass out, but the shot clock goes off. Tough to see the forest in between the trees of the likes of Esker and Weber as they are able to force the shot clock violation there as we have hit another media timeout. Great game here between these two teams, 54-50 in favor of the home side in Umsel. We're going to take a short break. When we're right back, you're watching basketball here on the GLVC Sports Network.
I am an NCAA student athlete.
And I pledge to be a champion of unity
on my team, on my campus, and in my community.
I pledge to embrace differences and strive for inclusion and collaboration.
I pledge to stand against racism, hate, and discrimination.
I pledge to strive for love, care, and forgiveness.
I pledge to stand against silence, deceit, and obscurity.
I pledge to strive for dialogue, truth, and understanding.
I pledge to stand against fear and doubt.
I pledge to strive for trust and belief in one another.
I pledge to stand against complacency and stagnancy.
I pledge to strive for change and growth.
I commit to supporting my fellow student athletes in all circumstances that impact them.
I commit to both choosing unity personally and encouraging it for all.
I pledge these things because we are stronger together.
United as one.
Welcome back, folks, on the GLVC Sports Network. Good one here brewing between Umsel and Illinois Springfield, 54-50 in favor of the Tritons. A lot of good action across the entire GLVC here tonight. Some interesting results going on right now. Maryville are up by 9 with 7:25 left to go in the second half on McKendree. Rockhurst have stormed all the way back. They've outscored the Bulldogs of Truman State by 13 in the second half and right now have themselves a 13-point lead. Lewis have seceded a lead to the Miners of Missouri S&T. They're now down by 4 with 11:05 left to go in the second half. Miners have come out like gangbusters and have outscored them by 12 here to start the second half. And Upper Iowa right now down by 3 at Drury. So would be a lot of different results with a lot of implications for the top of the GLVC standings. So Umsel, of course, are hopeful that they can close things out versus the Prairie Stars and bear the fruits of their labor with some of these other losses here tonight. Dutton on the drive. Tough shot in the lane there. Floated it up just enough over some outstretched arms. And for Britt Dutton, that is his second basket of the night. Prosper now able to drive and finish similarly that time as Esker was breathing down his neck. Now Prosper up to 14 points in this game, 5 for 10 from the field. Again, Weber working in tandem with Esker. Kunnert also out there, of course, as the live wire option. Weber now taking on Glover, who's got those 3 fouls. Spins on him again. Tough shot, can't finish. Esker, though, cleans up the scraps on the other side. Sometimes it's like you're seeing double with those two in the game at the same time. Not sure if Weber will actually claim that was a pass or not, but in the end, it works out for 2 points for Illinois Springfield. Weichel now trying to take it on against Kunnert. Has to go back out. Shot clock at 10 is Enright with a head of steam into the lane. Another floater, able to launch that one up and in. Enright now up to a team high 18 points for Umsel. Working on one of his better scoring performances this season. Banks now gets around Prosper. Tough finish, and it's going to be a late call there at the end. I do believe it's the right call. It will go against Enright as Banks at the last second did look like he got hit, and he will head to the line. And that is the 7th foul against Umsel, so Illinois Springfield will be shooting free throws going forward. Ty Banks, of course, getting 2 here. The junior from Springfield, Illinois. Transfer from Parkland College, where he averaged 9.3 points per game and 4.7 rebounds per game last season. And a season high of 14 points and 6 boards in the very first game of the season for Illinois Springfield versus Roosevelt, but misses the free throw there. He is a 55% shooter at the line. Has scored in double figures in 3 of the last 4 games, 13 versus Missouri S&T. And I do want to mention that shooting percentage from the line. Illinois Springfield coming tonight second to last in the GLVC, shooting 66.3% as a team from the free throw line. So if this is a very close game, misses like that are going to be pivotal. Rebound, though, is up for grabs. Glover tips it and able to fly in and collect the rebound in the end. It's been a tough night as far as scoring is concerned for Glover, but he has not given up anything on the glass as he is now up to a game-high 10 rebounds right now. Three-pointer from Enright, short, and unable to catch up to that rebound in the corner. It will be Illinois Springfield basketball. It's been a tough night from the perimeter for Enright, now 2 for 8 from three-point range, but has made up for it with a lot of tough baskets inside. Dutton now. Always looking for the roll. That time Weber, they couldn't get it to him. Kunnert now. And Weichel just a little bit too close to him. And that is a tough foul to take, as that's the 3rd against Weichel, and it will put Kunnert at the line for a 1-on-1 opportunity. Harris is going to check back in for Parker as the starters are back out on the floor for Umsel. Kunnert tonight is a perfect 3 for 3 from the line so far. Also leading the team with 6 rebounds tonight in addition to his 22 points. Now make it 23. And so far as for his career, up to 207 career three-pointers. And now up to 24 points tonight, moving him to 1,061 for his career. And we're going to get a stoppage here, as I think the shot clock was a little bit unkind to Umsel, as right now it's reading 12, and I don't think it took that long for Enright to get up the floor. I thought it was the shot clock, but we'll see how things kind of shake out here. 5:22 left to go in this game. Again, next foul that will go against Illinois Springfield will put Umsel in the bonus. Again, the shot clock's been reset to 23, so that was the issue. Prosper now. You see Esker backing off of him in that instance. As Harris now. Back outside to Prosper. Thought about the three-pointer. Now tries to put on the Jets on Esker. Finds Harris in the lane, though. Left open, and he gets the roll in the end as that ball hung up on the rim for what seemed like forever. But Harris picks up another 2 points. He's been very important here tonight, up to 11 in this game. He's 5 for 6 from the field. Kunnert now. Dribbles that one off his foot, and that one is out. And it'll be a turnover on the part of Illinois Springfield. Okay, great team defense. Glover coming over to support on Kunnert. And now Altman's going to check back in for Banks. And as things stand, 4 of the 5 starters out there on the floor for Illinois Springfield, with Esker joining them. Haven't seen too much of Khalil Ross here. He's had a tough night shooting-wise. He's 0 for 3. He has, though, 5 rebounds. Back outside, Enright left open. 3-point shot, short, rebound. Harris able to rip it away. Inside, Enright, a floater. That one too strong. Altman then eventually gets the rebound. 2 excellent looks there for Enright. Couldn't put him down. And we're going to get a timeout here from Coach Brock and Illinois Springfield. Just on the outskirts of our media timeout, I do believe. So we're going to keep things here. I think, as far as things are concerned, no, I think we're going to take a break here. So, again, 4:21 left to go. Umsel up 60-56. We'll be right back after the short break on the GLVC Sports Network.
Championships runs through NCAA.com. And whether you follow one college team or all of them, it's never been easier to get the content you want all in one place. With live broadcasts of multiple championships across all divisions, with exclusive access.
Turn this music on, we still dancing.
And highlights for every single championship. Stay in the game all season long with NCAA.com, the home of college sports.
Welcome back, folks, on the GLVC Sports Network. Just past the 9 o'clock hour here in St. Louis. We thank you all for staying up late here on the GLVC Sports Network. And you've been treated to a great contest here between Umsel and Illinois Springfield. 4-point lead for the home side. Trying to close things out. Move to over 500 overall on the season. 8-4 and still near the top half of the GLVC. Illinois Springfield trying to move to 11-9 overall. 500 in the GLVC and continue to make some headway in amongst a crowded part of the conference. Weber gets a screen now from Kunnert. Drives, almost had Kunnert back outside, but he goes to Dutton in the corner, and Dutton able to knock it down. Another huge shot there by Dutton, who's got 8 points, 2 3-pointers here tonight, and brings it to within 1 for Illinois Springfield. And Weber draws a lot of attention in the post. And he benefits from a lot of good looks as far as assist probability is concerned, but he's got great teammates knocking down those shots. As Weichel there almost turned it over. Shot clock's down to 6. Glover over the top there. Big shot over Esker. That's 6'10" going against 6'10". Dutton now off of that 3-pointer. Gets it over to Weber. Kunnert goes down, close to the lane. Play is allowed to continue, though. Shot clock gets to 10. Weber senses it. 1v1 versus Prosper. Big spin, a lot of shot fakes in the lane, and that's just some great patience by Weber as he just outweighted Prosper there before floating that one up and in. He's got 14 points now to go along with 3 assists. Prosper, he'll step back, fires the 3-pointer. Yes, sir! Emmanuel Prosper, his first 3-pointer of the night, now up to 17 points on the evening. What a great response there by Prosper. The defense gave it to him, and he took advantage. Altman now, off the roll, trying to feed it to Weber. That one deflected out last off of Harris, and it will stick with the Prairie Stars. So that will be our media timeout, our final one of this game. 2:36 left to go. Still just a narrow 4-point lead for the Tritons. We'll be right back here after this short break.
The legacy began in 1973. That was the year NCAA Division II was born. And since the very first day, our division has shaped generations of student athletes with a true sense of academics, athletics, and community. That is 5 decades of graduations, championships, teamwork, and personal development. 50 years of shaping student athletes into world-class leaders. NCAA Division II. Our division, our legacy.
Welcome back, folks, on the GLVC Sports Network. 2:36 left to go in this game. Umsel still up by 4. 3 players in double figures for the Tritons here tonight. Matt Enright with 18 points. Emmanuel Prosper now up to 17 this game. And then Janier Harris with an important 11 points to follow up. Troy Glover with 6 points and 10 rebounds to go along with 2 steals. Quentin Parker, 6 points, 2 rebounds, and 2 steals as well. 5 assists as well for Prosper tonight to lead the way. Kunnert still with 24 points on 8 for 13 shooting. Jack Weber now 14 points on 6 for 11 shooting. 8 points for Britt Dutton and 6 points for Evan Altman off those 2 3-pointers. And Isaiah Esker also chipping in with 7 points here tonight along with 3 rebounds. Prairie Star basketball. Still too close to call at this point. As Esker now with the shot clock at 10 has Glover on him. Esker trying to return the favor from Glover, who just made a basket over him a minute ago. Esker is going to be guilty of the travel. Glover stands tall at this end of the floor as well. Again, Glover comes in tonight, the top shot blocker in the conference, first in blocks per game. Has season high 5 blocks versus Rockers, so always is going to be a tough ask to try to go over him. And that time, though, didn't even need to make a block attempt as Esker was guilty of the travel. An important turnover there. Can Umsel respond here offensively? Prosper now trying to skirt around Esker, who sticks with them, and at the last second gets called for the body foul. Prosper able to keep his pivot foot, keep working. Eventually, Esker slid in with the hip for his 3rd personal foul, and will put Prosper at the line, where so far tonight he is 4 for 5. Khalil Ross is going to be set to check in here soon for Illinois Springfield, with just over 2 minutes left to go. And Prosper misses the free throw. Umsel now shooting 70% from the line as a team. 7 for 10. Illinois Springfield are 8 for 11. Both teams, of course, in the bonus the rest of the way. But still very much in a 1-on-1 opportunities. Nobody's close yet to the double bonus. And Prosper misses both. That is a huge sequence there, especially if Illinois Springfield can come up with a basket. And we're going to get a whistle and a timeout here by Illinois Springfield. We'll keep it here. As far as things are concerned, again, good time maybe to check on some of those other scores right now. UIndy and Lincoln are in a dogfight of sorts between the Greyhounds and the Blue Tigers, as UIndy are up by 4 with 1:16 left to go there in the second half. Would be a big win there for UIndy to take out Lincoln. Maryville only up by 2 now as McKendree have closed the gap. 2:09 left to go in that one, as McKendree just had a 3-pointer to cut it there to that 2-point deficit. Rockhurst holding on to a lead of 76-65. Actually, that score is final now. What a win there for Rockhurst as they outscore Truman by 12 in the second half to pick up the victory there. Southwest Baptist up big, 69-53 with 8:22 left to go in the second half versus Quincy. Great contest again between number 5 Missouri S&T and Lewis. Miners, though, holding on to a 5-point lead, 5:43 left to go in that one. And Upper Iowa right now down by 5 on the road versus Drury, 12:48 left to go in that game. Right now, in my opinion, all those pale in comparison to what we've had so far in this contest. Still just a 4-point game, under 2 minutes left to go. Starters are on the floor for both teams. This is Ross now. A long time there on the bench. We'll see if he becomes an active scoring option. It's Weber now. Heads up versus Glover. Best on best right here. Weber just in and out there. A little bit too strong with the hook shot. Box score is not going to outright show the impact that Glover has had on this game here tonight, but he has played a big role. Now we're going to get a Coach Sunvold timeout for Umsel here after Enright got in a little bit of a sticky situation. And again, can't take those home with you. And with 1:30 left to go here, Umsel will chat things over with an opportunity. 18 seconds on the shot clock. Someone looking for a basket here. You almost feel as though next basket might win as far as things are concerned. And here in the second half, again, both teams way off the mark as far as things were concerned there in the first half. Both are under 50% from the field. Still respectable, 45% for Umsel and 44% for Illinois Springfield. But the surprising thing is Umsel have hit one more three than the Prairie Stars at this point. Free throws remain relatively close. But the turnovers have been a very big story as well. Umsel only guilty of one here in the second half. 8 turnovers for Illinois Springfield here that have plagued them. And Umsel have turned those turnovers into 12 points here in the second half. So Coach Brock is hoping that they can kind of laugh things off about it if Illinois Springfield somehow find a way to come back and win this game. Otherwise, that's going to be a glaring point of emphasis to correct going forward. Prosper now has Altman on him. Backdoor cut from Enright was guarded initially. Dutton trying to fight through the screen. Enright now brings this one back. Shot clock's down to 5. Partial double team. Enright though left open. 3-point shot. Yes, sir! Matt Enright with his third three-pointer of the night. It's been a tough shooting night from beyond the arc for Enright, but he hits the biggest shot of the game to put Umsel up by 7. Under a minute to go. Ross into the lane. He's partially rejected, but there's a foul and one as Weber follows up on the play. At least I thought Glover might have gotten a piece on that shot from Ross. I'm not sure, but Weber right behind him gets the scraps and puts it up and in. He is now up to 16 points in this game and a chance to get those 3 points back. He went 2 for 2 in his only trip to the line tonight. And he's able to knock down that free throw. 68-64, 55 seconds even left. As Weber will check out, Banks is back in. And the Prairie Stars going to throw on a little bit of full court pressure. This is a home run pass. Kunnert gets a piece of it. Ball is loose, and Weichel is able to get to it first. That's a heck of a play there, a risky one, and eventually Enright is fouled. But Illinois Springfield nearly able to force Umsel into a costly turnover. But instead, it's going to be Enright at the line, where he is an 83% shooter on the season. Weber back in, offense, defense for Banks. Again, the three-point shooting tonight has been tough, but 21 points for Enright, and he's actually shooting 50% from the field overall, if you can believe it. And he will look to kind of start to help creep this game to the finish line for Umsel here at the free throw line. It was a first-team All-GOVC selection last year after he led the team with 13.9 points per game. He's able to knock down the free throw there. After tonight, he will move his average above 15 points per game on the season. Also had a team-high 94 assists last year and 35 steals. Coming in tonight, second with 47 assists, team-high 20 steals. And he's added 2 assists to his ledger here this evening. But more importantly, a huge 5-point stretch for him here at the end of this game. Prairie Stars got to move. Dutton's got it into the half court. As Prosper switches on him. Wild pass, it's loose. Ross, though, gets to it for Illinois Springfield. Altman now rises up. The 3-point shot. In and out. Rebound. Weichel. He's got the basketball. Kunnert forced a foul. And you can start to sense that Umsel might have enough here at the end to come away with this victory. 6-point lead. As Weichel now will head to the line, where so far this season he's a near 84% shooter. These are his first free throws, though, of the night. One-on-one situation, able to knock down the first. As Umsel will vacate the lane to set up their defense on the backside. Again, Banks will check in. Altman is going to check out. And offense with some timely buckets down the stretch, but you got to give credit to the defense here in the second half as Weichel hits both free throws, holding Kunnert to just 5 points here in the second half. Weber, of course, got loose a handful of times, but nobody else could truly get going. Time winding down here. Dutton has it. Illinois Springfield going to have to put something up. Dutton goes for the mid-range shot. Nothing but net there. And it'll be a timeout by Coach Brock as Illinois Springfield are going to try to extend this game as much as possible. The shot clock, of course, is off now. And again, UMSL have to continue to stay the course and try to knock down these free throws. But they are on the precipice of what would be a very impressive victory. Again, folks, next broadcast, you're going to want to tune in on Saturday, 1 o'clock and 3 o'clock, roughly on the men's side, for UMSL versus McKendree. Bearcats, as far as on the women's side, lost tonight versus Maryville. And right now, scratching and clawing, although, no, the result has gone final. Maryville with a big win, 63-61 versus McKendree. A little bit of a shocker there, but the Saints at home, obviously playing with heavy hearts as far as things are concerned for their women's basketball program. With Coach Brittahan, unfortunately, collapsing in the third quarter, forced a suspension of that game versus Lincoln, and the men's game versus Lincoln was postponed. Again, hearts and thoughts and prayers out to Coach Hand and Maryville program as far as moving on and things are concerned. Big night for them against the Bearcats as both their women's and men's programs are victorious in those games. Looking at some of the other results, UND are going to come away with the win tonight versus Lincoln. Lewis still within 5 points, but they're running out of time. 2:25 left to go. Upper Iowa, under 10 minutes left to go in the second half. They're down by 6 versus Drury. So a lot of interesting results to look at there. UMSL trying to join some of the other teams here tonight with the win. As they get the ball quickly into Enright, he is surrounded by Ross and Dutton, who don't foul, or at least don't get credited with the foul, and then Dutton has to catch up to Prosper to finally get that foul call, but some time taken off the clock there. 16.2 officially left, and Prosper with the opportunity to put this game on ice. And his career high was 25 points, of course, a few games ago versus Missouri S&T, so he's not going to reach that here tonight, but an opportunity to get to 19. And a very solid overall performance here tonight, as he has been a part of a unit that has had to deal with the best of the best that Illinois Springfield have had to offer as he knocked down that first free throw. Altman for Illinois Springfield and Glover for UMSL back in respectfully. And despite the fact that it was a very flashy start to the game by the Prairie Stars, UMSL were not too far off as far as the shooting performance is concerned. And here in the second half, defense and offense, where the rubber met the road here for the Tritons. Time winding down here. Ross quickly over the half-court line. He's going to get this one to Altman. He's going to have to fire something up quickly. A lot of time being wasted. Ross is rejected by Prosper. Enright ahead of the pack. That's going to do it as UMSL, with an emphatic statement, come from behind and take this one in the second half, winning the game by a score of 74-66. Down by 12 at one point early on in the first half. UMSL